Anybody there?
All right. Well, I want to welcome you guys to yet another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles. My name is obviously Ed, and with me today, I have the pleasure to have one of the people behind Baseballmapper, Patrick himself. How you doing, my friend?
Good, Ed. Thanks for having me, man.
You know what? I have been trying to not get too excited because, you know, ever since I found your website, it has been life-changing. And I will start by this also saying that my wife absolutely uses your website. She was planning my 40th birthday and she was looking for on your website on like minor league places around so we can go watch a game and all that. So yeah, she's also a user of the website. So kudos to you, my friend.
That's awesome. So wait a second. So you're about to turn 40?
I just turned 40.
You just turned 40. So I just turned 40. I turned 40 September 19th as well.
September 27th.
Yeah, look at so like between you and me, happy birthday, by the way.
Same to you.
You know, it's 40. It sucks. But
Right.
regardless, right? I know quite a few of us are right around the same age. Corey is he's about to be 41. He's old as hell. But I know John from Caught Looking is about to turn 40 as well. And so, you know, a lot of us, I think, James, we're all in the neighborhood, man. We have a bit of a fellowship.
We do.
Of getting older. It sucks, but we have each other, and that's nice.
We'll support each other through and through.
Right. And I'm glad your wife could help find something that you really would enjoy doing for your 40th.
She did. I gotta hand it to her. She got me, you know, she made me a bobblehead. I've always wanted to get a bobblehead of myself.
That was cool, man. That's awesome.
I was like, go for it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I want a bobblehead. Give it to me. You know,
Sweet.
so I wanna first start. I usually start by asking how'd you become a fan and all that, but I want to get the business side of things first.
Okay.
Tell me, walk me through how you guys decided between you and Corey, how you guys decided to come up with that amazing website of yours.
Baseballmapper.com. All right. So the crazy thing is we actually, I'm so glad Corey kept the actual text messages. He kept the text messages. So we printed it out. And we actually have our Baseballmapper origin story.
No way.
So to speak, right? It was a series of text messages because after we had gone on a trip to Houston, we couldn't find baseball besides the Sugarland Skeeters around. So we went ahead and we're, you know, just looking for things, and he wound up going to the Space Center. You know, that's great. Whatever. It's a good time. A lot of people there.
Right.
But we were looking for more baseball, and we're Google search constantly and trying to find other baseball to do because the Skeeters were out of town. And we came across the Brazos Valley Bombers and the Texas Collegiate League, which I didn't know anything about. Right. And that was like 4 years ago, maybe. And it's like COVID, the before times. It was in the before times.
This is pre-COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, this is pre-COVID. So long ago in our life. So I find this and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm going to buy tickets. They're like $5 and it's in Bryan, Texas, College Station, you know? Boom. And I'm like, it's an hour and like 25 minutes. We'll check it out. And I was like, how many other leagues are there that we don't know? And so him and I both spent some time doing some searching and looking for this. And Corey sends me a text message. Hey man, I think I can create a site where we could put a map together and kind of lay all the leagues that we can find in one place. There could be some future to this thing. Would you be interested? And my reply was like, doing work with baseball for business, yes, anything baseball for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a shared passion. Yeah, I was I'm in, right? And sure enough, man, he winds up doing. I'm starting to add to a spreadsheet. We've got a spreadsheet getting compiled of all of these different leagues that we can find. And it's going to be a work in progress. And then we decide to release it in 2020. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do a release of the website, Baseballmapper. We've been working on the logo design and everything like that. And then, you know,
the rest is history now. Look at you.
That's where I go.
You know what? And listen, like I said, I found a lot of baseball teams because of your site. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Like I go there and I look, it's like, all right, you know what? Today I'm gonna concentrate California, and
Right.
I look up all the teams and I go on their websites, or if they have a Twitter, follow. So that's how I started
Right.
doing all of that, just because, like you, I've never seen so many leagues, and I
Right.
didn't know about them. I was always of the I'll follow the affiliated teams, and that's all I thought there was.
And there's a lot, you feel like that's enough. But when you
Right.
realize there's hundreds of collegiate summer leagues, collegiate summer league teams,
Mhm.
it's like, wow, man. I want to, and this is actually, we have the Northwoods League all around us in the Midwest.
I know.
So I'm like, I want to go to these games. And sure enough, these fields are pretty nice. And the game is fun. And it's like, what else am I missing? Well, a lot, man. We're missing a lot. And so it's time to put it all on a map. So that's what we did.
You know what? I love it. I like I said, it's a great website. So kudos to you
Appreciate it.
guys, and hopefully, give even more, because now I see that you guys are connecting different teams and their logos when you see the little circle. Although I got to give you a little bit of a little crap here. Puerto
Mhm.
Rico, there's very only, I think there's only one team there, so we got to work on getting that the Roberto Clemente League there.
Oh, so there's a league in there that we don't have?
Oh yeah, it is the Winter Baseball League in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? That is something. Every now and again, people come up. Overall, people have been really great and really nice, and are always like, "Dude, this has been so great, such a lifesaver. You've helped us plan trips. Everything's awesome. I just want to thank you guys for the work." We're getting DMs like that. It's really nice.
I love it.
And then every now and again, we get a DM like, "Yeah, I did something similar, and you guys don't have this team on there," and it's like, bruh.
Like, seriously.
Okay.
One team.
I'll get it.
Really?
We'll get it on there, man.
Congratulations.
Listen, on our website, we do have a contact us page where you can definitely let us know if there's something we didn't add, and we will, man.
Right.
Believe me, we want to get it right.
Right.
But,
fill out the paperwork, and then we'll get it on there. Congratulations.
There's over 900 teams on there. What are we talking about?
Right. So, like, I mean, I think you can find a couple of around your area. You'll be fine.
Right. All right. Give us a break a little bit. We'll see you in 2022.
Right.
Right.
All right. So let's get to walk me through. How did you, young Patrick, how'd you become a fan? What was that moment for you?
Fan of baseball, right? Fan of baseball.
Baseball, okay. Sports, all around, my friend.
Sports. I've always been huge into sports. It's funny because I now have a son. My last child was my little boy. I only have one son, and I have 3 girls, 1 boy. And you start to look at his like pictures, and he looks like me when I was a kid. And I've been looking a lot of my school photos, and I'm like in like football jerseys, like
You're right.
My mom let me go to school in a football jersey. I got to wear a Randall Cunningham jersey for
nice.
Thanks, Mom. But just I've always been really big into sports. I've always played outside. I will say this: there wasn't money for me to get into Little League and stuff. So our children are just spoiled with opportunity, and my little guy Duncan, he's actually in a fall ball right now. He just had played in the summer Little League, and he loves baseball. And I played a lot of sports outside. Baseball is interesting because it could have went either way for me, man. It could have went either way, because my 2 favorite players growing up were Mark Grace and Frank Thomas. I really was drawn to first base because somebody's always there, And I actually met Mark Grace at a local card shop when I was a kid. I was collecting baseball cards. I was like earning money for baseball cards and stuff. And I was like 10, 11, 12 for my grandma or whatever. And I got to meet Mark Grace, and he was so cool. I thought he didn't wear batting gloves. He was like one of my favorite players. But I used to stay up really late, especially in the summer. I used to stay up really late at night, and the White Sox would always show replays of their games. They still do. on Comcast.
Okay.
But they used to it was Sports Channel back in the day, like Channel 51 or whatever it was on cable. And I was like 11 or 12, and they would show replays of the game, and I would sleep. Oh, I would stay up really late, and I used to have a phobia of. There was a period of time where I used to be really scared of people breaking in our house at night. That's a totally different story, Ed. I don't know why I'm
That's a
bringing it up.
different podcast.
It's a wholly different podcast. So I used to have like bad dreams and stuff like that. I used to think of people breaking in. So I'd stay up to protect the house, right? Like, because I'm 12 and I have a bat, right? But I would swing the bat and I would actually watch the games. And it was Frank Thomas, Robin Ventura. It was that era of White Sox baseball. Good guys wear black. And Hawk Harrelson and Wimpy Petroric are the broadcasters. And I didn't watch the game in the daytime. I didn't look at the score to see what happened
so
at
you
night.
can see it at night.
I saw it live at night. It was so great for me. Like a summer, I could tell you everybody on like the 1993 White Sox, because that was the team I fell in love with, and that's where I fell in love with baseball, and it was everything all the time. And it would lead to a lifetime of sadness until 2005, man. So
I'm still in a lifetime of sadness.
I know, man.
95, 97, 2016.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one for sure. Rajai Davis.
Oh man, I was watching it live, and I remember when he hit it, and
I thought it was over, man. I thought it was over.
And then rain. I'm like, come on.
Why would that happen? Like, why does it even happen? And then Jason Hayward, and he talks. Shut up. I don't even. I'm a Sox fan. I don't even want to hear a damn word about Jason Hayward ever again.
No,
whatever.
Just to this day. I mean, listen, I was upset obviously because it's my team. You know, they lost, but I couldn't be as mad just because they broke their their streak of not ever winning a series and all that. But whatever, they want to get out. But now this year they suck, so it doesn't really matter.
Hard. Yeah, man. It's hard. That's fandom, man. You stick with them when it sucks.
But I'm like you. I started early on in the 90s, following the team.
Yeah.
I remember Sandy Alomar. Oh my God, Tommy. You had Kenny Lofton climbing up the walls, try to catch home run balls. So I mean, I remember all that too. It's amazing. So so you grow up a White Sox fan. That's your team. No, you're not a Cub fan at all, huh?
Not at all. Not at all. And I'm really kind of happy about that. So I'm glad that worked out that way. Sox fans kind of have a chip on their shoulder a little bit. I consider the White Sox are like the successful younger brother of the Cubs. Mm-hmm. That don't get any attention because mom loves the older one who's a misfit and doesn't get shit right. But but we're always the one, right? We're always the one who's going to fix things and make things right in the end because we're hardworking and dedicated. That's the way I describe our fandom. It's a love-hate relationship with a lot of hate. That's
what they are good right now. They're scary good. I respect Tim Anderson. I'll say that. I respect it because at one point he said, listen, I would have rather been a football player. Like I like, nobody. He's like, I don't like baseball, but I played. I'm good at it. I'm like, at least you know where you stand with him. But he's good too, though. He's a great
athlete. Yeah, I like him a lot. My little guy loves him, dude. He loves him. He loves Eloy. What I've enjoyed is making a family full of Sox fans. My wife holds out. She's a Cubs fan. She can't help it. But the kids come to. I've been taking my daughters to Sox games. My oldest is 21, and I've been taking her to Sox games. My 14-year-old, my 12-year-old. They all come. They all stand in line. We go to batting practice. They get balls from players. They
love it.
It's always been an event, and I hope that long after I'm gone, they're doing that with their kids too. So that's the hope.
I love it. I just took my daughter to her very first.
I saw that, man.
Indians
that's awesome. Game. Oh, and it's like, I know it was like the first and the last. I know it's the Indians, yeah, but still, it's the beginning of a lot. Like she's going to have a lifetime of baseball, and that's
believe it or not, she enjoyed it. She was having so much fun. She was actually watching the game. She wanted it because there was a couple places you hit a home run, and then when you hit a home run, there's some fireworks, and she goes like, "I need to see fireworks tonight." I'm like, "Well,
it's
if
a
they
down
win,
year, honey. It's
right.
a down year. We're doing the best we can.
Not right now. Maybe next year with the Guardians. Maybe a couple of years. Let's give it a couple of years. But yeah, she enjoyed it. She loved it, and
that's great.
Me as a father, right? I'm like, yes, I'm proud, to be able to enjoy that and share that on my birthday too, which was even better. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it was great. Actually, I enjoy hanging out at Progressive Field. It's a beautiful park, and I like the little museum area. I think there's great areas on the concourse. There's stuff for her to do, kids areas and stuff like that.
And they're changing more now. They're going to do it more. They got a couple $1 million. They're going to be changing it because they just signed that lease for like 10 years. So I mean, more. Go for it. Bring some more amenities to that ballpark. So
it'll be good. It'll be good, man.
Yeah, we'll see about the name. I'm still trying to get used to it. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it'll, I think a lot of times what happens is these things come out, and it happens in minor league too, where like a team name changes and everyone's like, "Oh, I hate it. I don't want that at all." And all of a sudden they'll come out with a cool hat.
Yep.
Or a funny shirt.
Yep.
And people are on board.
Yeah, and that's how I think it's going to happen. Like I said, I'm embracing it. I'm putting the logo on.
Oh wow! Bottle. Look at that.
I'm embracing it. They asked me, it's like, would you get merchandise? I'm like, well, yeah. Obviously, they're my team.
That's your team. What are you going to do? Come on.
What do you think I'm going to do? Not support them? Yeah. I mean, I'm fighting with them right now. I haven't bought anything, but because I'm spending more money on a lot of hats for the minor leagues, because there's a lot.
There are quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? So tell me how the love for the minor leagues came about for you.
Okay, this one's cool, and this is a military thing. So this comes up a lot when I get a chance to talk to people. I did serve 6 years in the Air Force, and I was stationed at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. So we were with a great location that's close to DC, Baltimore. You're only a couple hours from Philly. You're a few hours away from New York City, which is incredible. Like you could literally get in a car and drive at night and go to New York City and just walk around until the sun comes up, man. It's
very true.
And growing up there, I say growing up there because, I joined the military when I was 17. My mom had a sign for me. I joined right out of high school, and I turned 18 after boot camp. And, I grew up there. That was like my college experience essentially was there. And it was incredible. I loved being on the East Coast. It was a goal of mine to be out there. And what happened the first time, I didn't associate much with the minor leagues and actually ever go to a game until I think I was gifted tickets by the USO, would have them on base for us. We would go and we could go pick up tickets. Orioles did it all the time, especially awesome. Like general admission tickets. There's places for you to kind of hang out in like center field. You can see all the places in Camden Yards where people stand in the home run porch in right field where all the flags are in front of the actual warehouse. They would just have tickets for us. And a lot of times we didn't have to spend money to get in the ballpark. And it was just like, we would go. Well, the Bowie Bay Sox would start giving away tickets. And the first games I went to, minor league games I went to were Bowie Bay Sox. In fact, they had an all-star game in 2000. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I looked back, I was trying to look and see what players that I actually saw. And there were some like really good players at the time. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. Of course, there was a lot of like up and coming Orioles players who wound up all playing on the Orioles team, because that team in the early 2000s was kind of garbage too. It happens. But, I would go to a lot of Bay Sox games, and I loved they would always do things to support the military. Our friends would actually live like in the apartments. We wound up moving into the apartments right outside the stadium almost.
Oh, nice.
So it was like really, Bowie, Maryland is a place that I really kind of consider a lot of fond memories. I love that team. I will always support them. I will always buy their gear.
That's
So many
cool.
fun memories in Bowie, Maryland. It's just incredible. So the Bowie Bay Sox, man, that's where the minor league love started.
You know what? That's awesome. And I love their logo because it's very different than a lot. Because like you had that swirl with it, obviously the colors of the Orioles with it. So that is a
Right.
cool one. And listen, if they are supporting, by giving away tickets, to military and all that. So
Yeah.
you cannot, you cannot hate that. You got to get behind that, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because that ballpark, I think I want to say is like shares like a parking lot with like a Lowe's or like some sort of Home Depot. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but it isn't the prettiest of ballparks that I've been to. But it always has a special place in my heart. I got my first foul ball there, which is kind of where my love of getting that souvenir came from. And it's funny because I didn't keep it.
What?
I was kind of hammered, and which was the case,
Right.
And I caught a ricochet off of like the sweet glass. I turned around. I was behind home plate, turned around, and it came right back. And I like robbed my friend. I put my hand right in front of his face and caught a ball, and he's never let me forget it. And I gave it to a woman, an older lady who was sitting next to me, and I gave it to her, and my friends were laughing hysterically. They're like, Jesus Christ, look at you,
really?
like you can't help yourself, right? And I was like, I just made her day, dude. And I was like, to top it off, it was a jersey auction, because that's a minor leagues.
Yeah.
There's jersey auctions every game, right?
Every other game you got a jersey auction. Yep.
So I go and I win a jersey to meet a player on the field, the first baseman. I'm a military, so I have money. No, you don't.
Yeah.
But I spent it. So I would go and I meet him. And when I went down there, I talked to the people. Then I said, hey, I caught a foul ball from the catcher. The catcher hit the ball. Could I bring the lady down who I gave the ball to so she could meet the catcher? It's like, oh yeah, for sure, whatever. And that's where you're like, minor leagues are different, dude.
Yeah,
like, you
totally different than the majors. And the majors are like, no.
No, of course not. But that guy was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. Get the hell out of here. So yeah. I brought the lady down to meet the catcher, dude. So it was like an all-star, Patrick's the best moment, right? And
right.
My one friend hates me because I took the ball. Right. The other friend's just like, you're a big idiot. You're just whatever. And it was just, but those were the nights of like, we would go there and it's like, we didn't have much else. What else are you going to do? We're young airmen in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. And, we're like 19 years old, 20 years old.
Yeah. And you're enjoying life.
And we're just having fun, and we're not causing trouble. We're just kind of enjoying the moment, enjoying the experience, and we're growing up, we're just kind of making the most of it. So,
and you still and your love of the sport is growing.
Exactly. Like that was something that was very memorable and kept going for sure.
You said that, it's very different than the majors, and you're absolutely right. Yeah. Completely right, because they're so pre-pandemic, right? There's so much more accessibility, to players, in the minors than right now in the majors. It's just that's how it is, and I think in my experience, players in the minors just want to, they want to come out and say hi. They want to sign baseballs because at the same time, it makes them feel important as well. Like, they're playing, they're fighting for something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not? And who knows? You might just get a baseball signed by a player that end up being a major leaguer.
Yeah, and that's super special too. And so if you, I will say, I don't think it's all bad, because the idea of wanting to keep minor league organizations around their parent team is a good idea in theory. In Florida, the Marlins, they gravitated to all of the Florida teams. They grabbed the Jumbo Shrimp, the Blue Wahoos in Pensacola, and then Beloit, Wisconsin, right? Which is out of, there might be something else with that. But anyway,
right.
To keep everybody close, so that if you are in Florida, you get to see your team kind of coming up. As a Sox fan, I feel like all of my minor league teams all those kids are playing in like the Carolinas or Alabama. So it's all South. But in theory, the idea of letting fans see those kids, hope they can kind of, get access to them and see like, hey, I saw Tim Anderson when he was young and it was incredible. The Cubs have that with playing in Iowa or playing in South Bend, Indiana.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean that's close by. Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah, that too.
We got Columbus at AAA, AA is Akron, and then Lake County Captains, and they're all within, not that far. The furthest one is right now is Lynchburg, Virginia. That's low A, but then after that is Columbus. So they're all right there, like you said, they're all right there within an earshot. And then what makes it easier is like, if there is a rehab for a major leaguer, they're going to go to Akron or they're going to go to Columbus.
Right.
And it's right there.
Get in the car and go see them.
Correct.
Right. And then the teams are smart because then they're like, why don't you buy a jersey, of that player, and be like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. I mean,
exactly.
And I think that's a great way of like I said, I didn't go to a minor league baseball game until I was like 18, 19 years old. So like, if kids can start accessing it because their favorite player is rehabbing there, right? If Yadi Molina is rehabbing at the Peoria Chiefs, that's not that far away from St. Louis.
No.
So it's a 3-hour drive. So, those kind of things are really important to kind of growing the game. And you're right. And I don't think Major League Baseball players don't want to interact with fans. I think they do. I just think now the nets are up all the way around and they have to find different ways to do it. I will say this, at a Sox game, Tim Anderson is the guy who always throws that final third out ball. Everybody gets the ball to Tim Anderson and he launches it
That's
over
awesome.
the net. That's his thing. He's always been. So like if Jose Abreu gets it and like Tim Anderson is sprinting for the dugout, Jose Abreu is trying to chase him down because he doesn't want to try to throw it over the net or whatever. It's Tim Anderson's job.
That's it. Hey, listen, you throw it.
It's your job. Get this ball. Eloy is out there in left field pandering to both the left field bleachers and the foul line on the third base side to see who's going to be louder, and then he's going to throw a ball into the crowd. They do want to interact. It's just
they got to find different ways.
Yeah, and Major League Baseball feels like it's kind of separating people from that. It's like it's making it more distant, and it's a little bit harder to do. And part of it is the pandemic, but not all of it. And
right, I was just going to say, yeah, the pandemic has a little bit to do with it, but I think Major League Baseball has a little bit of a problem with an identity. And this is what I've been saying, is like, you're not marketing the players, and you're not, and we're talking, high level now, Major League Baseball, right? You got to have access to these players because you want to grow the sport more. That's how you do it. Look at the NBA and look at the NFL, how they're all, marketing those players and they have access to those players. Do it. Go ahead. So
yeah. It seems like a no-brainer. And guys like Mike Trout, and
Shohei
Ohtani, Fernando Tatis, they should be front and center every chance. You should have them like walking through the crowd, like almost like let's just let them meet people on the first base line every other game or something, like why not? Like, what do you have to lose? Because there will be fans literally crying getting signed baseballs from them. And is that what you want? Don't you want the fans to interact with? I mean, my son's favorite player is Eloy Jimenez. He wanted to get red batting gloves because Eloy wears red batting gloves.
There you go.
And it's like, if he could ever meet Eloy, he would freak out, man.
Oh my God. And imagine, not only meet him, but imagine if he gets those red, gloves and sign, loses forever.
And again, I think the majority of players, they want to interact with the kids. They want to, but it's like they're being kind of separated, and they're
it's putting like that division right there on the line.
And in some case, like that net, to me, that is a physical barrier. And
don't get me wrong, I get it. I get the reasoning, like
I do too.
Safety, it's of importance. I'm not saying it is not, because at one point, and this is before I became a parent, right? I was like, get rid of those nets, get rid of them, and I'm like, now I have a 3-year-old, and then let's be honest, she's not going to be paying attention to the game like I am, gets a foul ball that way, gets hit in the head. I get that. I get it. But you're right. That net is such a divider right now. And it's, I'm still torn about it, as you can tell.
Right. It is. I mean, because it definitely, it's got positive elements because it's meant to protect. There's a lot of balls that are just bouncing off of it, landing back on the field.
And they're coming fast.
They are coming fast. But I will say this. I was at a game once where a foul ball hit a fan, maybe in the 30th row. The Sox were playing the Red Sox. And Mookie Betts came to this. Mookie Betts does this stuff. He came down the line to check on everybody because he was playing out in right field. And he came down to check, and he heard that person got picked up by the ambulance. And the next inning, he brought a signed bat out by the team, by a few players on the team and stuff. And he brought it to the family of a friend who wound up getting taken out by the ambulance. That person was in the 30th row. Man. There were nets there. The nets don't protect you back there.
No,
if you're not paying attention, you can still get hit anywhere. That's the way it works.
Right. So, exactly. We're in the age of cell phones, right? Where you're just, have your phone in your face and you're not paying attention to what's going on. Something's going to happen. It's just, that's how that goes.
Yeah. That's the, I would say, the double-edged sword. It's something that makes baseball so special. When those balls are coming into the stands, they are a piece of the game. And other sports don't have it.
You got to return the ball back.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's like you have an opportunity, you put those up. Now you don't have that, but also, it's not going to protect everybody. No, those balls they could hit somebody in the 500 level, that somebody way up at the top who's not paying attention.
Listen, I was all the way at the top. I was at the top. I'm like, okay, there's tickets there. There's pretty gorgeous day, and it was good. And then we almost had a foul ball go all the way up there. That's how, and we were high up, so
it can happen.
Yeah, it definitely can. So talking about baseballs, tell me about your collection, because this is your way of collecting, and tell me how you came about with this.
Okay, so I collect a lot of shit. Especially when it comes to baseball, man. I mean, if you've seen our videos, I'm wearing different baseball hat every video. I actually hold that as like a personal responsibility.
Absolutely.
Like, I have to change my hat. And you're very much the same way. So you're like, new hat today. It's like, it's going to take a while for that other one to cycle back around.
Right.
I love going to a game and getting hats. I used to feel kind of like John from Caught Looking, where you have to go to a ballpark to get a hat. But the pandemic kind of changed my mind. National Hat Day, buy one, get one free, changed my life. I don't know. I was like, what am I waiting for? I just want to wear this hat, right?
I'm with you.
Right. So I know that's your life, 100%. So I love hats. I've collected cards since I was young. I'm so glad that my son is into collecting cards. Him and we open packs together. We trade players.
That's awesome.
He ends up with every Eloy Jimenez I ever.
Of course he does.
It sucks, but
what are you gonna do?
Whatever. And but yeah, so I listen, baseball stuff. I love baseball, everything. So it's hard for me to choose one thing. There are baseball cups in my cabinet, bobbleheads, from any giveaway. I don't miss a Yoan Moncada or a Jose Abreu bobblehead day. But the thing I care most about is getting a ball from the game. And actually, I do think this makes me different than some of the people that you've talked to, because I think some people are if they go to a baseball game and they get a foul ball, I think they're under the impression they have to give it to a kid. And I argue against that point. Let me explain why. Okay?
Go for it.
It's an unpopular take, and listen, I'm not fighting kids, but the point is I have children, and all my kids have to do is wave to a player, coach, anybody, and they get a ball given to them. To them. And you know what? It's cool to them because they got a ball from a player. It's special. And if you get a foul ball and you try to give it to Duncan, I would tell you to knock that off right now.
Keep it.
Because he will not appreciate it as much as you will.
You're right.
Because how many foul balls have you gotten at a game?
Exactly.
That's the point. That's the point. So if the opportunity happens, and again, I'm going to go back to my original point. You walk away with the piece of the game. Mm-hmm. Sports are different. It doesn't happen in football, right? You got to be in the end zone. Maybe a Lambo leap, like Devontae Adams jumps in your lap and hands you a football. I don't know how it works, but you don't typically get a football at a football game.
Those are very rare.
Very rare. And hockey has even gotten more. I'd say they were probably your second best opportunity, but they put the nets up all the way around. Pucks don't even come into the stands anymore.
Correct.
So in baseball games, it happens all the time. 500 level in the suites, shoots right into the suite.
Anywhere in the park. Yeah, you're right.
30th row, all the way down the third base line. That ball is coming to you, and you have a chance to get something from the game. Why do you have to give it away? It's yours.
You're right. I can't argue. I cannot argue with you because yes, the kid's going to love it. Absolutely. Hey, look, mom, I got it. Mom, dad, I got a ball.
Right.
What's going to happen to that ball?
Yeah.
As soon as
they could go to any player, to anybody who's tied, a security guard, a ball boy, and they could get a ball because they're a kid, and that's who wants to give them. They want to give a ball to a kid.
Funny you say that because here's what happened. On my birthday, right? So we took, Mia, and then we made her this sign, right? Showing it, her first and last Indians game and all that. And I was listen, no shame in the game here. I was trying to get her on TV. You know what I mean? Because they were right there. So I'm like, I'm trying to show her. They weren't even paying attention. So I'm like, all right, baby girl, let's go. One of the cops there saw the sign. And she goes like, wait a second, hold on. This is her very first game and last game, with the name The Indians. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is like right now, this is their very first. She was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. Grabbed the ball and gave it to her. And this is her ball right there, Major League Baseball. So I wrote down on it, our first game, awesome. September 27th. I bought a case for it. But yeah. Would I have gotten that? No. He's like, get away.
No.
Get out. You drunk?
It's my last Indians game. I was hoping that maybe I could get a ball. It's like, why don't you shut the hell up and get out of here?
Yeah, so it's mine too. Get out.
Exactly. Exactly, man. So that's what I'm saying. And I would argue that it means more for her to get it from a player, somebody tied to the ballpark, somebody who went out of their way to find it down in the dugout or whatever, than for her to get it from a stranger. You know what I'm saying? Like just some random person who got it, because it's not going to happen all the time. And so with that being said, my collection of baseballs, which I have prominently displayed,
very nice,
a variety of different things. So there's been times where I'm walking into a ballpark after the first pitch and a ball comes in a minor league park, comes shooting out over
the whole field, the whole thing. Yeah. The whole stadium. And it's like in this parking lot. There it is.
Yeah. I got a ball. So what do I got to go chase down some kid to give? No, I got a ball, whatever. That's not as special. I have been fortunate enough to catch a few foul balls. Like sometimes they just find me and I catch it. I bring my glove to a game.
I still do.
My partner, Corey, he laughs at me. Corey, if you talk to Corey at Baseballmapper, he will tell you, you don't bring a glove to a baseball game. And I would say a ball found him and it smacked him, fell on the ground. He had to fight a guy in Lexington, Kentucky for it. If he had a glove, he wouldn't have had that problem.
I gotta ask him. I'm gonna ask him about Lexington, Kentucky, and the foul ball.
Don't forget it, because I haven't. Anyway, so some of those things. Sometimes a ball's hit and you're walking in the concourse, especially in a minor league game. Yeah, that's one of the beauties of a minor league game. You might be at a ballpark where there's nobody around, and you just kind of stumble across. Sometimes a ball finds you. I'm in Altoona, Pennsylvania, looking for a Yingling on draft because I'm in Pennsylvania, and damn it, why not?
Yeah.
And a ball just comes onto the concourse, and I turn around and pick it up. A ball hit us while we were in Beloit. My wife is a magnet for balls, and not by trying from players, because God, they would throw her all the damn balls, because they would throw her the balls too. But foul balls just find her, and she's like, "Oh, look, oh, where did this come from?" And I'm like, "There's nobody playing catch.
What are you serious right now?
That's a foul ball, right?" So, I to me, it's really the more scuffed up, the better. A bat mark, grass stains, warning track. If I could call for a ball because it's a walk-off hit, or if I'm walking around the outfield and a ball is hitting the home run territory in a minor league game, that's special, man. That's a special part of a game. And I think it's super cool. And I'm glad to collect something like that.
Let me ask you, do you date them and all of that? Do you put the date and all that?
Yeah. So actually, I don't know how well this will show up on the video.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I can see it. Foul ball caught. There it is. Chicago, Illinois, August 13th, 2019.
2019, it was a ball hit by Eloy Jimenez, my first ball ever hit at a major league game, and I caught it. I couldn't believe it. And I was sitting like 30 rows behind home plate, and the ball just goes right over the backstop, and I stand up with my glove and catch it like in my chest. And it was special, man. I mean,
that's awesome.
What are you going to do? So to me, that's the keepsake. Like, if I could ever get that, listen, I'll get a hat from the game regardless, right? Or if I don't get a ball, it's okay. But if I go to the game, if I can get a ball, that's the piece.
Special. Yeah.
That's the special piece. And that's, to me, worth remembering all of the details, where I was, who I was with. All of that stuff is really kind of important.
It's funny because, and then also a lot of those balls that you've caught already, they have the names of the league that are no longer, around. So that league name, you know what I mean? So that makes it even more of a keepsake, when you're there, that you were there, that you caught it, because now they have like what, AAA East, AAA West, and things like that.
Right. Every baseball, it says minor league baseball. Yeah. I mean, I've got Midwest League balls. I've got a South Atlantic League ball. I've got Southern League. We would always take a trip to Gulf Shores, Alabama every summer. And the goal was to, again, part of the reason of having a map is what ballparks are on my way heading south to the beach. And, those are things you can't get anymore. So now that's proven to be a really cool keepsake, because it's changed. Maybe they'll go back to it. I do think next year they go back to those original leagues. But baseball can save money by making every minor league team have a minor league baseball. It's kind of crappy, but
it takes away from the uniqueness of minor league baseball.
Yeah. Which honestly, isn't that the point?
That is exactly the point.
Unfortunately, right?
Right. Like, listen, I'm all for a major league team being, named the Cubs and all that, but a minor league team having their own branding,
right?
It's awesome.
100%. Yeah. You're already a fan of the Cubs. Why do you need to root for
the Iowa Cubs,
South Bend Cubs, and the Iowa Cubs? I'll give South Bend some credit because at least they got a unique logo, kind of.
Well, in the Tennessee Smokies, they have somewhat of a, Cubs, but it's not, so
everything. Can we get away from a bear for 5 minutes, Cubs? Can we get 5 minutes? Can we just try something else?
Right. Can we be unique just for a little bit?
No, they can't. Same. I mean, it's kind of like the Yankees, the Cubs, Dodger. It's wanting to kind of keep that, the color scheme, the colorway, the branding, all of that the same. And it's, it takes away from the uniqueness.
Yeah. Listen, if you want to keep the colors, keep the colors. If you want to keep the swirl on the, the Dodgers on it, but a different name, do it. Why not? I'm just saying, be a little bit more original when it comes to naming teams. That's all. Listen, that's my opinion. Do what you want with it, guys. But I just think you're missing out on a lot of marketing when it comes to not naming a different name.
Right. And you just I'm just looking at the back of your wall there with the cannonballers,
Oh,
right? And
love it.
right. And it's like they went and tried to do something completely different, but it's fun and it's creative. Like the teams that are really succeeding, like selling millions of dollars worth of merch a year, are
Rocket City
being
Trash
unique.
Pandas.
The Trash Pandas, the Montgomery Biscuits, these teams that are just going, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, and the Jumbo Shrimp. You go all out there and do something different and crazy, and you can't be afraid to do that because your fan base is saying, oh no, we won't support. Yeah, they will, because it's awesome.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they're gonna buy a hoodie and 3 hats is what they're gonna do.
I was talking to the GM of the sock puppets, and they says, like, Ed, it was so interesting to see the difference between our Facebook page, which is a more local support, and Twitter when we released the name. Twitter went nuts for the name and the logo. They went absolutely. I'm like, yeah, I was one of them. I loved it automatically. He goes like, Facebook, it took such a long time for them to come around to the name.
What about the Royals? Can we let it go? Let it go.
Yeah. Oh, how about the Braves or the Indians? Get out.
Yeah, just do something and enjoy something different and fun and because that's what it should be, and it doesn't have to be the same thing. It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't.
Some teams get it.
Yeah, some teams do. Some teams don't. And listen, it's okay. It's not for everybody. I get it. That's why we have the minor leagues. So many options, so many different logos that you can like, and that's the beauty of it. And I'll be buying merchandise from them. Believe me, I will. Spending a lot of my money on there. So let me ask you, because you just recently took a family trip and you went all the way out to one of my favorite logos and teams, the Missoula Paddleheads. I got to get up there, and you got to meet a lot of cool people. How was that like? You guys just decided to just, what, we're gonna do a vacation, whoever comes, let's do it. Is that how it went?
No, actually, because it's so far from us. It's like, we're in the Chicagoland area, so going like 1,500 miles for baseball in a minor league baseball too. So like, there's been comfort in going to these major league cities that are big and there's things to do. And going to Missoula, Montana was kind of in Butte. We wound up going and seeing a game in Butte as well. But these are really kind of smaller cities.
Yeah.
A different way of life, all that stuff, and things that we're not accustomed to. It's out of our comfort zone as far as like, what are we going to do in Montana?
Exactly.
Twitter will help us, right?
Yeah.
Which they did. They did a great job. But as our buddy Glenn was putting together kind of a trip for himself with his family, he invited some people, and I was like, it'd be cool. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And then people started kind of doing it, and you don't really kind of think about it at the time, but like, Eric Mertens, Eric the Peanut Guy, he's like right around the corner from there.
Right.
So he's like, all right, I'll go. And I'm like, oh, gee, wow, Eric the Peanut Guy is going to be there. I mean, that's
like, I got to meet the guy. Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool that we get a chance to meet, different people. So we're going to get a chance to meet Glenn, get a chance to meet Eric, and then Paul Caputo from Colorado is going to be there. I'm like, what is going on? Ben from Benjamin Hill, Ben's Biz, was invited too. And I was like, if he's going to make it, dude, this is crazy. But he didn't wind up making it. But so we just said, you know what, last minute, we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go out there. There was talk within our group of friends, and actually we went as a group. This is kind of our annual baseball trip. And we talked about doing whitewater rafting, things that you would do in Montana, you know, and some hiking and stuff. And said we could have some fun, in something different. And I'm so glad we did, because besides just meeting incredible people, which it goes without being said, it was a great opportunity. But the idea of going to some of these smaller cities, still a big city in Montana, but a smaller city, and experiencing things you wouldn't be able to experience anywhere near us is really special. And I've said the words life-changing before, but the Montana trip for me, like whitewater rafting is not my thing. I would never consider doing shit like that. But but I did, and I'm so glad I did. Just like getting out of the boat and just floating in the river
Oh,
and
it's so
letting the
much fun,
river
isn't
take
it?
you. It's unbelievable, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was a really good experience for all of us. I'm so glad we did it. Um, Great opportunity, and it really kind of opens your eyes of all the places you can go. And again, I hope that's what the map does for people,
Hmm.
is allows people to be like, I never thought about going to Traverse City, but the sand dunes are up there in Michigan, and I'm close to the Upper Peninsula,
Yep.
and I'm going to be doing a trip up. Why not stop here along the way? And so I hope that's kind of what the map kind of does, is allows people to find baseball, which like the paddleheads in Montana find baseball in the middle of these great outdoor states, and just kind of enjoy a little baseball while you're taking in the sights.
You know what? I couldn't have said it better myself. It's just going to these small towns and seeing, what's around, and then embracing the baseball game there. I loved it. I love every part of it, because they're, like we were been saying, their identity is on their logo, is on the team.
Mhm.
And put to experience, first of all, whitewater rafting is so much fun. I did it in West Virginia. I would so do it again.
That
It
sounds
was
like a good
so
time.
much fun. Oh my God. Loved it.
Yeah. Maybe we meet up there to go see the Dirty Birds. You saw West
I
Virginia, the
did.
Power. Yeah, the
Yeah.
rebranding. That's a good one, man. I like that.
I love the logo. Every time I see, I think of a Dirty Bird though, as a grown
Jamal
child.
Anderson.
Right.
That's what, that's what I think of, like the Atlanta Falcons, actually, is what I thought of. It's the first thing I thought about. I thought about something completely different, but I
Love it.
like it. I
Love
think
it.
it's a different. Why not? What do you have to lose? I think teams need to start figuring that out, that you don't have anything to lose. Look at like the Florence Red Wolves, and they just went hard left and became the Florence Flamingos,
Yeah.
and it
Listen,
worked.
it did. It so did. And everybody's like, I love it. I love it. I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to release a Dad Hat, and I'm buying,
Yeah.
because obviously that's my thing. But it's just I'm all for anything that's like crazy like that. All for it.
Yeah, why
Absolutely.
not? That's minor league baseball, man.
It really is. All right. So we're at that point where I'm gonna be going over my famous, not so famous questions. All right. Are
Dude,
you
I've been
ready?
looking forward to these, man.
Love it.
There we go. I'm
All
looking
right.
forward to it.
Okay. First off, though, you go to the ballpark. What do you buy? What's your snack of choice, or obviously beverage of choice as well?
Hmm. Okay. So this always varies. I will say I am the type of person that wants to take in the local fare. So
Okay.
like if I'm in San Antonio, I'm at a missions game. I want to I remember first time I went to San Antonio missions, I was doing like training in the Air Force, and
Hmm.
I went to games by myself because it was fun.
Yep.
And well, again, Bowie, shout out to Bowie Bay Sox. They kind of made me realize, like, go check that out. It's a good time. And they had like buckets of corn and then buckets of butter, and you could just like choose toppings to, like, you dip it in the bucket of butter and then choose things to sprinkle on your corn and walk around the ballpark with it. So I'm always going to pick up something local. If it's what I go to I'll go to the concession stand. I'll be like, hey, tell me, what should I get? I've never been here before.
Yeah.
I will say those words and get something, but I'm the type of person who goes for a beer before I go for food. So if I can get Yingling on draft because I'm on the East Coast or I'm in Florida or something like that,
Mhm.
Chicago, still waiting for Yingling to make a Chicago. I will
Really,
pick it up.
it has made as
Yeah,
far as Ohio, but it just
yeah.
stopped right there.
It made it to Texas. It made it to Indiana. It has not made it to Chicago. So it is, if it's on draft, I'm looking for a tall boy, Ed. That's what I want. That's the first thing I'm looking for at a ball
Good
game.
man. Good man. Love it. All right, here we go. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, shit. That's a good question. Oh man. That's a good question.
It is.
That's a good question. Okay, so it's kind of embarrassing now because she's definitely a little more polarizing now. But I loved Alyssa Milano. Alyssa Milano was my dream
Oh,
girl. Yeah, that was my celebrity crush for the longest time. And I'm not even gonna say like I liked her in Who's the Boss, because that's not necessarily true. But I will say this: I have a sister who's older. She's 5 years older, and she got this workout video. It was called Alyssa Milano's Teen Steam. It's not even creepy, dude, because there's a real thing and people bought this shit. So anyway,
Yeah.
so she was, my sister was like 17 and I'm like, 12, and I'm
like, forget it. Yeah. That's it. It's over.
I can do some ab crunches,
right?
Alyssa, whatever. So Alyssa Milano, I'm gonna stick by it. She's a little polarizing now, but damn it, back when I was 12, I was
right
into it.
God, what was that one show she used to be on?
Charmed.
Yes, that's
a
what
witch.
Yeah,
man.
I remember. Absolutely.
Yeah. I paid attention.
Favorite board game?
Clue, hands down. Professor Plum every time, dude. I
Really?
love that game. I've always loved mysteries. It's part of, I have an English literature background. So I was a English teacher in my past life. So I love mystery novels. I love Sherlock Holmes. That game to me is still tons of fun with my kids. Clue is my favorite.
Watched a movie?
I did. I love that movie.
Oh, so great.
Movie. Tim Curry's incredible.
Yes. Love it. You know what? You're right. It's such a good movie. Oh, it's so hilarious.
Awesome.
Let's see. What is your spirit animal?
Interesting. Damn, these are some different questions, Matt. All right.
Yeah, well, I had to change it up.
Exactly. I'm not prepared. Which is good. I don't like birds as pets.
I can see that. Yeah,
they creep me out.
Yeah, I'm good.
And then it's like people let them loose and they fly all over you. Why the hell would you do that in your house? I don't understand.
Get out.
But out in the wild, I think there's nothing cooler than like a falcon. Like I will stop if I'm walking somewhere and there's a falcon up on like a power line. I will stop it and watch it. He's posting up, he's shopping for lunch, right? I will stop. I'll take a picture. I'll zoom in on him. I got a real cool one that I was walking past a train station and he was just posted up on top of the light pole, just looking for anything to move. And I'm just like, damn, they're cool. I think birds of prey are pretty badass. Maybe a falcon would probably be my spirit animal.
I like it. Tacos or burritos?
Okay, so this is tough. This is a tough question, man, because I'm gonna go alternate on these.
Okay.
If I go to a restaurant and fish tacos is on the menu, I almost always choose it.
Okay,
almost
I can see that.
Always. I don't always get regular tacos, especially if I go to a Mexican restaurant. I don't always choose that. And usually if I go to a Mexican restaurant, I pick a burrito. But I also, if I go to a restaurant and they have a breakfast burrito, I choose it.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing I love more than a breakfast burrito for breakfast. So I will say, if I had to choose my fish tacos or a breakfast burrito, I'll have to go burrito, man.
Yeah, you know what? Breakfast burritos are delicious.
Especially good ones. I mean, I remember traveling like in Arizona. We were on our way to Phoenix and I found this place that they had a banner outside their place in a strip mall that said, try our breakfast burritos. It said, we're going to that place. That is a place.
I'm stopping right now.
They are putting everything in on this. They get a damn banner. I'm interested. So I went there, it was good. So
there you go. So they went all out and it worked out.
They weren't kidding.
There you go. Okay. Theme park or water park?
Theme park. I would choose a theme park. We actually have one pretty close by. We have a Six Flags pretty close by.
Okay.
And it's funny because the water park tied to the Six Flags is always crazy packed. But I would rather I think I have more fun riding roller coasters than being in a lazy river. So I would choose a theme park.
God, I can see that. All right. So I'm going to ask you this question, but you cannot pick your home ballpark there. You cannot pick that one. Okay. So what is your favorite? You know what? What is your favorite minor league ballpark? Because I know you've been to a few of them. So
Yeah, I've been to a bunch. There's been some really beautiful parks. I really like the Nashville Sounds ballpark is beautiful. And Nashville is just a good time. I would recommend. Yeah. I don't think a minor league ballpark can be prettier than the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
Really?
It is a gorgeous, gorgeous stadium right off the bay. And
that's cool.
It is gorgeous, man.
I'm sure the view is amazing too.
It's amazing. At night, it's gorgeous. Daytime, it's gorgeous. I recommend. I'm a sucker for the view. My favorite major league ballpark, obviously not considered Comiskey. As a Sox fan, I would be totally biased. I love our ballpark. Everybody hates it. I love it. I think they're crazy. Is PNC ballpark. I love the Pittsburgh's ballpark. Is incredible.
Yes. Listen,
I love walking up the Clemente Bridge to the game. Is special.
Yes. Oh my God. I got goosebumps thinking about it.
I wish they were a better team because they deserve
a better
ballpark.
Team.
They should have 30,000 people in that ballpark every day.
So, listen, that was my first weekend trip with at that point, she was my girlfriend, my wife. That was our first weekend trip. And I love that ballpark. It's such a cool place when they close down the bridge, when during the weekend games, and you can just walk down the bridge,
Incredible.
See the statue. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, I agree. Although I don't understand also about your ballpark though, the lollipop looking things in the outfield. That has
they're pinwheels, man. Yeah, they're pinwheels. They spin around and stuff, man. When there's a home run.
Yeah,
it's
I get
special.
It. It's unique to your ballpark. I get it. I get it.
Love it.
All right, couple more questions here. If your life had a mascot, what would that mascot be?
I don't even know. I will say my current situation in life is all over the place. Like I am doing so much on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Every day I have a hard time planning what I'm going to be doing because there is so much. The kids add a lot to that. There's so much going on with my kid. I got a 14-year-old. She just got into high school. She's the powder puff quarterback. She volunteers after school to do athletic training assistant. Got to pick her up. My little guy is in fall ball for baseball. There's always running around with the kids. I'm doing a lot to help my wife with real estate. There's just, things for Baseballmapper. There's always things I'm trying to do. Maybe like the Tasmanian Devil, something crazy.
Yeah.
My life is chaos, man. My life is chaos right now.
But it's a good chaos though.
I will say that I do enjoy my life. It's just, there's a lot going on. And,
yeah,
I've got to constantly make notes for myself, send myself text messages, put things in my Google Calendar. There's just a lot going on.
I'm with you.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
If I don't have my calendar, that's what I started doing I'll be honest. I started doing it when I started doing the podcast is I started putting stuff on there because if not, forget it. I would so forget it. So.
Oh yeah, totally. Right.
All right. Last question here.
Last question.
Do you think the aliens exist?
Let me think about that. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, man. To think that we are alone is just so on brand for human beings.
For the human being, right.
Right. Like we of course think we're alone, right? That we're the smartest. No, we're not. And there's people who've done this and done it smarter, more efficient, better at technology. less mistakes, no political affiliations,
Zero.
whatever.
Exactly.
Right. I feel like the universe is too vast. We must have other people out there, other life forms that we really, really are not ready to meet.
We are not nowhere near ready for that right now.
And so I hope in our lifetime, in my kids' lifetime, based on their TikTok challenges, their asses aren't ready either.
No, they're not prepared for that.
No. So I hope that we don't necessarily cross paths just yet, but 100%. They're watching us. They're paying attention. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I will tell you there are probably aliens. I don't know if they're probing anybody. They're probably not interested because we're not that interesting.
No.
But they're out there.
They're probably just sitting there like, "Are you serious? Have you seen these guys seriously right now?"
God, they can't get out of their goddamn way for 5 minutes. That's us.
Yes.
That's us for sure.
All right. Before we go, where can people find you, my friend?
Baseballmapper, man. It's been an incredible run the last 2 years. Every year it's gotten better, but people on social media, I will say baseball, Twitter, baseball social media is an incredible place. If you are a fan of baseball, get yourself on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and find us because it is a great community. If you want to find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, we make videos reviewing baseball movies and talking. Corey will ask me 5 questions about random things I don't know that are coming, and just talking baseball, interviewing people, and talking about something we love. It's always at Baseballmapper. Corey's also big on getting our pictures out for creative license, totally out there for Creative Commons. If anybody wants to do any kind of is any kind of articles they're writing or anything like that, you want to write about a team and you want to find our photos, that's on Flickr. Everything is at Baseballmapper, so you can find us there. We're always talking baseball, whether it's giving away things on Instagram or making videos on YouTube or sharing things on Facebook and stuff and Twitter and interacting with you and all of our friends, man. That's what we do.
Awesome. Love it. I want to thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I really do appreciate you guys coming on. Well, I got to get Corey now, and then I got to ask about Kentucky and that whole foul ball experience.
Bring a glove, man. Bring a glove. Listen, and you won't have to worry about your hand hurting. Man.
Right. 2 40-year-olds right here. And I still, to this day, will bring a glove to the ball game. I do not care.
That ball's going to find you one day.
Exactly.
And,
so,
hey, don't you dare give that shit away.
I'm not. I won't. I promise.
Yeah.
Now on,
it's yours.
I'm keeping that
you
ball.
Earned it.
That's right. Sure. I did. All right. Again, thank you so much.
All right, man. Take care.
You too.